I see a lot of students knowing all the arpeggios up and down the neck, but nobody really knows how to use them in a musical way. So today I'll show you some tricks that great masters like Charlie Parker used. My name is Sandra Sherman, and I simplify jazz for you. Charlie Parker used enclosures to target chord tones. So let's use this C major 7 arpeggio here to enclose the chord tones. The arpeggio tones are chord tones, and we'll be using the C major scale in the same area here. To do that. And a simple and effective way to play enclosures is a scale tone above the target note, the chord tone, and a chromatic below the target tone. So let's start with that C on top here. We play a scale tone above is the D. A chromatic below is the B, which also happens to be a chord tone, but it's also a chromatic. Chromatic is a half tone below that C. So the first target tone is C, and this is the enclosure. Let's go down the neck for that first exercise. The next chord tone of that C major arpeggio, we want to descend the arpeggio, right? So the next one is B. So let's enclose B. A scale tone above is C, which happened to be only a half tone. A chromatic below is that B flat, and here's the target tone. Always play the target tone with the finger that your arpeggio is on. Otherwise, you're a little off, and then you make errors. So you can slide into that, or the next one would be G. Now you do the same thing. A scale tone above the G is A. A chromatic below is F sharp. Target tone is the G. All right, so that's the first exercise. Go through that entire arpeggio. Now let's add the entire C major 7 arpeggio, but as a pivot arpeggio. Charlie Parker used that a lot, and it has become a part of the bebop language ever since. A pivot arpeggio is when you play like a C major arpeggio, but you play the first note 1 octave higher or lower. So let's play that C major, C on top, 1 octave above. So C, E, G, B. It's the same, C, E, G, B, but that C is an octave higher, moved from here to here. C, E, G, B. You can also turn it around, like play it backwards, B, G, E, C. Then you play the B an octave lower, B, G, E, C. It's always the same. You can do both ways. So for exercise 2, let's add the enclosure right before the pivot arpeggio. Okay, let's go through a few of these. We start with the C on top. We enclose it. And now this is the beginning, should be on a beat, of the arpeggio, the first arpeggio. C, E, G, B is the C major arpeggio. Write it down so you can make your own licks, because there's going to be a lot of inversions now. And if you haven't memorized C, E, G, B yet, well, that's a good way to do it right now, or write it down. C, E, G, B. So that's the first one. Then we go to the next one, which is that B. We enclose it above, below, and then we play B. What's next in the chord? C, E, G, B. After B, we have C again, but not this one, the lower one. C, E, G, because this is our arpeggio. And we start with this note first, B, C, E, G. So next one in the arpeggio would be the G. So scale tone above, chromatic below, target note on beat 1 or any beat. Then we have G. What's after G? C, E, G, B. We have B, but an octave lower. Then C, E. So if you have it written down, it's easier, right? G, B, C, E. So that's an inversion also, right? And that's such a great way to start licks, right? So again, play through the entire arpeggio using the enclosure before it. If you want to dig deeper into jazz playing, check out my starter packs. I have all different kinds of genres like Latin, jazz, blues. You learn how to do the rhythm comping, you learn how to improvise. There are chord melody packages on my lesson shop. And all the lesson material is included, like the tabs, Guitar Pro tabs, including tabs and notation, backing tracks, and of course the link to the detailed video tutorials. The price on these packages is a no-brainer, so click the link down below in the description box and grab yours now. Now, the simplest way to create arpeggios is just to put two of these enclosed arpeggios from exercise 2 together. So I start with that C enclosure. And then I skip, I don't play that B again, I'm already on it. I play the G next, so diatonic above, chromatic below, G, here's the arpeggio inversion, G, B, C, E, and that's it. And the thing you gotta know is that usually this is played as a pickup bar, so this is 4 and 1. So the enclosure often is before beat 1, and it doesn't matter what the chord is you're currently on. Can be anything, for example, F minor or something, where these tones wouldn't fit at all. It doesn't matter, it's just a pickup for the next chord already. We anticipate the next chord already. You can, of course, also play this over different chord types, and next example is going to be a 2-5-1. For D minor 7, I play a D minor pivot arpeggio, D minor 7 pivot arpeggio. That's D, F, A, C, D, F, an octave lower, D, F, A, C, and I enclose it as we learned, diatonic above, chromatic below, and into that pivot arpeggio. Next, I play an A minor triad arpeggio, also with a little skip. That chord, that's the same as this D minor down here. Just up here, here's your root. And A minor fits over D minor. That is called a superimposition. If you layer some other chord, arpeggio actually, over a different chord. Because these are just, it gives you tensions of the D minor when you play an A minor. That's the 9th you get. The 9th, the 7th, and the 5th of the D minor arpeggio. And now this is already the beginning of the enclosure for G. I have that G already in mind for the upcoming G7. The chromatic below into that G7, and now a G7 pivot arpeggio, G, B, D, F. You should learn your chord tones by heart as soon as possible. G, B, D, F. And then I do some bebop line in G mixer sharp 11. And now the resolution C major 7. It's actually a delayed resolution. That's the D is the 9th of C, whatever, 6-9 or something. So that's the 9th. B, C are the chord tones, and E is the resolution now, the 3rd. Then I play a 3-way enclosure for a C major arpeggio onto that G. The G is the target note. And that I play a G triad actually, G, B, D, because that D again, it's a superimposition, gives me the sound impression of a C major 9 chord. So playing a G triad over C gives you the C major 7 sound. And I enclose a 3-way enclosure, diatonic above, chromatic above is now added, chromatic below, and this one, and here this G triad is already, it's very worked out, right? Is already an enclosure for that C, and I'm going to the E, okay? So here there's a slow tempo, 3, 4. You can help to keep the free video tutorials of this channel running by becoming a member of the channel, and you can do so by clicking the join button right next to the subscribe button, which also grants you access to my mini lessons. You can also say a little thank you by clicking the thanks button and donate a little something. This really helps with the productions of the videos. Thanks a lot. So now we have a half bar 2-5-1 in C minor. 2, 5, and 1. I start with a D half diminished arpeggio. This time it's not a pivot arpeggio, but it's an inversion also. So D, F, A flat, C are the chord tones. I start from F, then A flat is next, C and D on top. And I enclose this, of course. The scale for D half diminished, that's the 7th degree of E flat major, or the second, it's a 2-5-1 of C minor. C minor scale, G, chromatic below, go into that or slide into it. Then the G7, I play a G7 flat 9 in the shape of a B diminished chord. B, D, F, A flat, and that's a pivot arpeggio. B, D is lower now, D, F, A flat. These are the chord tones for a G7 flat 9 chord without the root. That's the 3rd. D is the 5th, 7th, and flat 9, right? So, and then I resolve this to a C minor 7 chord. All right, here is a slow tempo. 1, 2, 3. Now we're in a blues situation, like 2 bars in a B-flat blues. We have a B-flat 7 arpeggio here, and we can play the pivot arpeggio, of course. And I approach that A-flat from a scale tone above, B-flat mixolydian, and chromatic below. Then we go to a D half diminished arpeggio, which is a B flat 9 chord actually without the root, right? And I also do the enclosure again. I want to enclose that D. I do that from a scale tone above is E flat. Chromatic below is D flat. Going into the D, that also gives me that cool bluesy thing where we have minor to major third going on. Then this is the start of the D half diminished arpeggio. We had it before in the previous example in this area. Now we're up here, D, F, A flat, C, right? And then a little blues lick, right? That's going like to the, from minor to the dominant chord. Okay, 1, 2, 3. If you think this was helpful, please give this video a fat thumbs up. It's so important for me as a YouTube creator for the algorithm, you know. And please subscribe my channel, hit that little bell notification so you never miss out a new video. And I see you next week. Servus, Baba.